to pay. Not feeling too well, but too busy to go to the hospital? With Berry Health, you can video call medical doctors right from your phone, have medication delivered to you wherever you are in Ghana, and no need to leave the house or office. Berry Health, the #1 online medical service. Berry Health, your phone, your doctors, your peace of mind. Go to berry.com or just Google us and chat with a doctor today. First appointment discount, easy. Just text GTV on 055-422-0883. The number again, 055-422-0833. And let's get you smiling again. Hey, adventurers and nature lovers, welcome. Picture waterfalls, forest trails, and vibrant local experiences, all wrapped in the spirit of adventure meets nature. Mark your calendars. So from September 19th to the 21st of September, Trek GH is inviting you on a breathtaking journey to the east. It's not just a hike, it's a celebration of Ghana's natural beauty, culture, and heritage. Whether you're a seasoned trekker or just craving a fresh escape, this is your moment. Get ready to walk, connect, and discover. For more information or to subscribe, contact our numbers 054-668-5054 or 055-333-82980. Join us on Trek GH. We are heading over to the east. So let's see what the newspapers are saying, the front pages of the newspapers. Which paper do we begin with? Okay, which paper do we begin with? The Ghanaian Times, the most authoritative newspaper. Ayensu Starch Factory goes waste. Residents appeal to government for its reactivation. As a Mankesi chieftaincy dispute, Royal Ikuya Korang family appeals for government's intervention. And President Mahama engages media. And Linda Oklu advocates use of internet wisely by students. NTC MD proceeds on leave prior to early retirement. That's the Ghanaian Times. The Daily Graphic is leading with 3 years on, Apiate livelihoods remain shattered. New buildings, streets hide, empty promises, idling fans, and Black Stars on course for World Cup. Jiku ends Mali's dream, and President Mahama donates 20,000 protective equipment to share collectors. And that's the Daily Graphic. The Daily Guide leads with police arrests Abronye DC. Azuma Ghana rejects EMP takeover report. ECG demands 225% tariff increase. And the newly posted teachers bare teeth over arrears. Address as a Mankesi disputes, Abrade Akwamu chief is saying. And that's the Daily Guide. The Chronicle, convicted ex-SIC life worker faces civil suit after failing to refund 783,000 Ghana cedis stolen from the state-owned financial institution. And the Ikuya Korang family is here again calling for government intervention in the Asamankesi chieftaincy dispute. And that's the Chronicle. The Daily Searchlight, Chinese Nigerians hijack retail trade. Guta is saying so. Tragedy, police officer allegedly shoots himself. A Fajato mountain going bare, chief warns. An MP for Asin Central wins most performing youngest member of parliament of the year. And that's all on the newspaper front pages. And then over to Saida, who's standing by with a gentleman to tell us exactly what's happened. We'll see you on that side. Saida, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Val. I love your outfits, by the way. And I said you were balanced. I didn't say you were unbalanced because mind you, it's not balanced. But thank you so much for staying with us. This is the headline segment. I am MALTITI Saida Sadiq. You can find me at MALTITI Official everywhere. And it's time for our guests to give you their perspectives and their analysis of all the big issues that shape our national discussions in Ghana and the world. This morning, Professor Daniel Bruce is a clinical psychologist and is back at the table. Prof, good morning. Welcome back to the table. Great, I'm fine.
Thank you.
Mr. John Kuuku is a forensic psychiatrist specialist and is back at the table as well. Mr. Jani, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome back.
How are you?
I'm well, sir.
Good to see you.
Well. Good to see you. There's lots on our plate. Conflict, ECG tariff, service charges, the president meeting the media to answer questions. Lots, but I'll begin with what's on your mind, gentlemen. Mr. Johnny.
Right. Good morning to everybody. I'm going to say good morning to Chief of Staff and his team at the Flagstaff House. They're doing a fantastic job. They have our support any day. Let me also congratulate the Black Stars. I think a yeoman's job done yesterday. I was surprised that the numbers are there at the stadium for a very long time. I haven't seen. I was supposed to be going, but at the end of the day, I said, "Oh, okay." But I was impressed with what we call. I think Mr. Yao of Outcry did a fantastic job with the way he doled out the tickets, and
Absolutely.
I think that's what also enticed the people to go there. And the fact of the case is that Ghanaians love football, and it's getting to the World Cup, and therefore all support and everybody's support is needed at this time. What I will suggest to the team managers and the handlers of the Black Stars is to look for psychologists to be with the team to start from now. It's very, very important to get to know the boys, to understand some of their challenges that they don't even tell anybody about, that minimizes their performance. And it's this fraternization and association with them over time before the World Cup that will bring out the best out of them. The psychologist is very, very important. In the World Cup, it's very, very important.
Mr. Johnny, you mentioned something about sanitation you wanted to talk about.
Yes. I thought I'll make a quick comment on sanitation. I heard the President make a comment about it, and we've spoken about it so many times, and yet the canker remains the same. I remember President Rawlings going into the gutter at a certain point, and they were making a mockery out of it. I mean, the stench in Accra, in the inner cities, it's unbelievable. If you go to Choko and you walk in the streets of central Accra itself, it's not good at all. And therefore, we must put in a lot more effort than I'm seeing now. You know, the catchment areas say how would you do Ablekuma Central, Ablekuma North. You must use data. You look at the numbers in there and look at the sort of tonnages that you think they might excrete out. And then money should be made available for the trucks and all the facilities that is in there to collect the rubbish on a 24-hour basis. It is only that will keep our cities clean. Because if you get out from the aircraft, when you travel from London, you get to Accra, immediately there's a smell in the air. It is not interesting at all. For those of us who travel, we know that smell. And when you get into inner Accra, especially Buko, Choko, Teshi, the buildings are bad. We need to relocate the people to better housing accommodations. You need proper toileting. There's no toilets. There are no toilets. There's no place to relax. Everything is done in one room. And you talk about sanitation, go into the rooms of some people. The rooms are even more terrible than outside. Everything is clogged up in the rooms. So we need housing. I hear Poka say it's being done. We must be rapid about these things. We must look for money. I don't mind money being borrowed to do projects. That is visible. We can see that this money has been borrowed and is being used for. Money that is borrowed and disappears is what we are worried about. But we can borrow money to get the country to start moving. We have to move so that we can see semblance of...
Are you not worried about sometimes change of government and how they leave some of these projects to go to waste as well? Housing projects?
It is some parties that cap and spoil everything. They break the system up. And we must be... The voters must know that parties that cap that are not responsible, they shouldn't vote for them at all. That is what we've got into at the moment. Because if we are going to vote for parties that are not responsible, then we'll be sitting in this mess for a very long, long time. It's not good enough.
I just saw the starch factory that's gone to with the Yensu for fashion, and that's quite sad.
Look at that. It's terrible,
this morning on the paper. Okay. Prof. Bruce, anything on your mind?
Just to buttress what he said. One characteristic that can be used to measure the level of intelligence of people is their ability to deal effectively with the environment. So a stranger landing in Ghana, just looking at the way we deal with our environment, will be able to tell the level of intelligence of us Ghanaians.
Absolutely.
The heaps of waste that are paraded around.
Eating it. As if it's a joke.
It exposes the level of intelligence of the people. So if we can embrace this reactivation of the sanitation, it will help us to deal effectively with our environment. When it comes to mining and preservation of our forests and water bodies, we have found one thing. It tells us that no, there is something wrong with our
Something very
intelligence.
wrong. Something very wrong.
Some people have said that we should use the chiefs because parties or governments come and go, but the chiefs stay around forever. The example is they are saying
So, but how many chiefs do you have at one particular place at any given time? About 3 or 4. So which chief are you going to use? You only have to sprinkle quickly, and it's chaos. You
Yeah,
know, so the efficiency aspect needs to be looked at properly.
So what's on my mind this morning is about the difference between a rich man and a poor man. The difference is purely behavior. Why will a rich man become poor? It's behavior. And why will a poor man become rich? It's behavior. There is a behavior style which Ghanaians have adopted. And that is the reason why I think the dollar and the cedi exchange rate is struggling. The explanations or the analysis given by our financial analysts, economics, and other care about Ghanaian citizens really show that government is not doing what is expected to do. But they know what should be done, but government is not doing it. And that is why we have to take so much of our cedi to take $1. And it is affecting the price of goods and services.
Absolutely.
It is making it unaffordable by a lot of Ghanaians. And you can see the way they are going to live. So I just want to appeal to this, our specialists in the financial sector who know so much. The economics from Department of Economics all over the universities in Ghana, and financial aspects from banking and finance, from School of Business, to offer themselves voluntarily and to call upon government that just as we have the Senchi conference, they can go to a conference and tell Ghanaians that, look, this is the way we have to go in order to make our city very strong. They have the solution to it. So they should not be afraid to offer themselves.
Why do you think they've not been implementing the solution, or they've not had these conferences for this long while?
That's why I'm calling upon them. That if it is because, well, I'm not part of them. You know, Ghana, no matter how good you are, if you belong to a political party and your political party is not in power, nobody will mind you. I think that's the behavior we have to put aside. You see, just like Mr. Kojo Penny is praising the president for engaging only 60 ministers and is doing well, we need to have people who are neutral like that. That look, Ghana is having a problem. Let's call the attention of the government that, come, let's sit down and we tell you what to do so that Ghanaians will enjoy. Other than that, we are devaluing our cedi. Even if we change the name of our cedi to dollar, it's not going to be American dollar. It's going to be a Ghanaian dollar. And you take so much Ghanaian dollar to take one American dollar. So let's do something to value our cedi. It's a special appeal I'm extending to our financial aspects and analysis.
Okay.
If I may go back to the sanitation issue again, and this is on my heart. You know the Kole Lagoon? It's the spirit of the gas. That's where they pour libations and used to do a whole lot of. The lagoon is dead. And when it dies, the spirit of the gas, for what I care, is dead. And that is why I would like to plead with the Niga Manche. So to wake up and get to where he has to get to make sure that we can revitalize the lagoon. You know, when you see it, you quickly, it trips your mind. That a lagoon that we used to see as fresh water with fishes, crabs, and all sorts of crustaceans in, and is dead and is becoming like an island, is very worrying. I mean, if you go to India today and the water that they bathe in spiritually every year is said not to be there, they will run away from the country. There are stories from ancient Rome about people who worshipped trees, and the trees were cut down by some enemies. The people disappeared from the country. It tells you how strong we attach ourselves to things that we worship, like rivers. And I would think that works in housing, I think it's an area that we have to look at, speak to the minister, and see whether we can make some budgetary allocation for the Kole Lagoon. I think President Kufuor tried it some time ago, it's come back to what it is state again. What can we do?
In other countries, it's used as recreation. You see the London, in the rivers, people, there are boats on it, yachts and all of that.
That was Kwame Nkrumah's idea. Kwame Nkrumah's joy was to use that place as a tourist center with, like you see in Italy and other parts of the world. What has happened? What's wrong? What's going wrong? We need to find out what it is.
Absolutely. We need to find out what it is. We're moving to this matter, this conflict issue that has been, going on for a while in the Savannah region. And government has set up the mediation committee to target a 1-month resolution for the Gbenyere conflict. It's in the Solot Tuna Kalba area. The Interior Minister Mubarak Mohamed Muntaka has inaugurated that 7-member mediation committee for that 1-month mandate to resolve the conflict. The clashes began on August 23, 2025 in Gbenyere, as I said, the Solot Tuna Kalba district, and it has affected and displaced more than 50,000 people. Some of these people are even seeking shelter in neighboring countries like Ivory Coast, which is already also under threat and chaos. So speaking at the inauguration ceremony of the Interior Ministry at the Interior Ministry in Accra, the minister said a committee was constituted on the directive of the National Security Council to reflect government's commitment to peace, security and social cohesion, outlined the committee's terms of reference, which includes facilitating the safe and dignified return of the displaced residents, assessing the scope and dynamics of the conflict, and evaluating losses and damages suffered. And so the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama expects that they will conduct their duties with impartiality, transparency and inclusiveness, engaging with all stakeholders, traditional authorities, opinion leaders, civil society and security agencies, so that there can be peace and it can be rebuilt, the towns can be rebuilt from this ravaging conflict that it is seeing. The minister assured the committee of full logistical and secretariat support from the ministry, and urged them to partner with civil society organizations, development partners, and faith-based institutions in carrying out their work there. He said the task is heavy, but it is honorable, and that the people of Gbenyere and surrounding communities are looking up to the committee as instruments of peace, reconciliation, and healing.
Peace and trust can be rebuilt in Jimere and its surrounding communities. The people of Jimere and its surrounding areas look up to you as instruments of peace, reconciliation, and healing.
The chairman of the committee is Mr. Emmanuel Bombande.
A people who have been always together, but something has happened and they separated. And in that separation, people took long journeys outside their homes. How do we begin the journey to return to our communities? To do this, there is the humanitarian dimension, and the committee would be working feverishly to be able to see what can be done to assuage the suffering, particularly of our displaced people, including those who cross our borders.
The mediation committee from the Gbenyere conflict will submit periodic progress updates to the Minister for the Interior.
Quite worrying, and the committee set up to, the heavy duty and burden of resolving that conflict and returning the people who have fled the Gbenyere area. Let's go to the phone and speak to Richard Kumado, who is a security analyst, just before I come and take the thoughts of my guests. Good morning, Mr. Kumado. Thank you for joining us. Is this committee that's been put together in the right direction to put this conflict issues to bed once and for all in the Solot Tuna Kalba area?
So there are 2 to 3 things the committee set up will do, and the outcome of their work will achieve. To the extent that we are setting up committee, which means that the investigators, particularly the BNI, the police, have finished the investigation. They have the antecedent, and they have the precedent, and they have the prehistorical part of what happened and what has happened currently, the immediate triggering of the issues. Then you are setting committee. Setting committee means that you are aware that there are some undertoning issues that cannot be addressed directly by the work of the investigative agencies as an outcome of what they have done. Because what has happened has chieftaincy issues involved, has royalty issues involved, has economic issues involved, has rulership issues involved, and has traditional issues involved. And those ones cannot be addressed directly by what investigators should do. So that is why you are setting up the committee. Now, the work of the committee will do two things. One, it will tell us where we came from and where we have arrived now. Then, number two, it will also bring the parties together in a dialogue form that going forward, this should be the way we should go in managing ourselves as we live together, particularly within the Solar Tuna Kaba environment, because that is where the tension really has been mounting for years, and that is a particular area they will want to concentrate themselves in.
The conflicts around this area, do you pick some undertones, tensions that may have caused it to spiral to get to where it is? And
yes,
also,
the undertones, there are royalty issues involved, there are chieftaincy issues involved, there are rulership issues involved, there are economic issues involved, there's a heavy political issues involved, and there's inheritance issues involved, predominantly, so that this land issue, one piece of a land, is just a triggering point, but that is the front core. So the committee is aware of all these things I have spoken about, particularly within the Solar Tuna Kaba district. That particular district over the years have had all these issues undertold, and it has been stepped on, and we lack the courage to discuss it publicly among ourselves, because we are now living together as a family. And that is where the issue. When you go to the Gonja land, you have about 8 different tribes or 8 different languages and about 8 different backgrounds of people who have lived there. But within the Solar Tuna Kaba district, that particular district is heavily populated with a number of tribesmen and women, and that is where it seems the trouble is coming from. So they will need to look at it again. We need to sit down and be frank with one another and be sober. That we have lived together for years, and we are one people with a common destiny. And what is a common destiny? To develop. And our enemy is poverty. And so that we should stop fighting ourselves and killing ourselves unnecessarily, which will not solve the problem.
how does our security services miss this crucial information and undertones that you're talking about? It didn't start today. You said there are inheritance issues. How come our security agencies didn't pick this up and then, become proactive instead of us reacting now?
No, they did. I've always been educating people to see that the fact that there's a security operation failure do not mean that it's an intelligence failure. Intelligence would have always been provided. And if you know the security architecture of Ghana today, currently, and you know the intelligence sector in particular, then you will understand that there are some things I will not say on air, but then security intelligence will always be provided. When it comes to what leads to conflicts such as this and the speed at which they escalate, sometimes it goes way beyond what security agencies should do in Ghana, depending on which area and how we have structured our security agencies. And so you realize that even with the mediation committee, there's no security officer on it. And there's no military and there's no police officer on it. It's strategic, and they deliberately did it that way. Because of how we have lived. When you are talking about tradition, you are talking about chieftaincy, and you are talking about politics, and how their inability or imbalances can affect security and safety within a particular area. So that is what we have seen. But I can tell you, I have put in 29 years in this country within the area of security intelligence, and I can tell you so well that with what I know, I have lived in war for 8 years, and I have traveled that stretch continuously for like 15 years. I can tell you that it goes beyond what the security agencies could do and what they wouldn't do. And even if you look at what has triggered this particular issue and the way it has escalated, it was the security agencies that came in. The IGP was there constantly. Then the military chiefs were there even before government sent the Minister of Interior. So they have done their part. Let the mediation team take it from there, and we'll see what God has for us.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us,
You're
Mr. Richard. Commodore is a security analyst speaking to us on the Gbenyere conflict. The area, 50,000 people have been displaced so far due to this conflict. He's mentioned economic issues, chieftaincy issues, inheritance issues, politics undertones, and that security agencies have been picking intelligence. So security agencies failing to react doesn't mean that they have not been picking intelligence, Prof. Bruce.
Yeah, thank you. We say the scripture says, blessed are peacemakers, for this is the kingdom of God. So we pray that the peace-making spirit will be upon this commission so that they can bring everlasting peace to that area. However, the psychology behind every conflict is because of the type of personality we have in those areas. There are 4 types of personalities. Wherever they are, there will be conflict. One is paranoid. The paranoid personality is a person who suspects people that they are plotting evil against him. Even when you are smiling, say you are smiling, you are laughing at me. Maybe he's not the one. They will accuse you of any wrongdoing. And sometimes they don't even have enough evidence to back their suspicion. But they believe strongly you are plotting evil against them. You are the one plotting evil against them. You want to exterminate them, you want to do this and that. They have no evidence. And so this type of people, once they suspect you, they behave like this type of schizophrenia, catatonic, just watching to the then they receive information. He's your enemy, kill him. He can take the gun and shoot you. So what is going on? You can find people who are paranoid in that area. The second people are the antisocial personalities. For them, whatever the society agrees on that let us not do it, they are the very people who will do those things. Don't insult, they will insult. All tribes are equal, they will run down tribes. Anything they will do to bring up, they don't remorse. And their joy is to see people suffering and dying. So if there is war, they are happy. So the antisocial people, wherever they are. Then the third person are the narcissistic people. People who are, they have developed over bloated self-image. They are the only people who are best. You say about 8 tribes there. Those who are narcissistic and in those tribes, they say, oh, we are better than you. Who are you? Which tribe are you? Running down all this. And people become angry. And they have to defend themselves. You see, so these are the personality. And the last one is the perfectionist. For them, they don't do anything wrong. Even if A is not wrong, they are wrong. They will push that it is A who is wrong. And in that one, solution cannot come. They were not going to bow to anything. So not that the police are also, you see, it's complex. So I would like to suggest that, just as you are calling for psychologists for the Ghana Blasters, Ghana also now needs a psychologist to be attached to the NCA or NCC.
Okay.
You see, so that when they go around, they talk about these psychological issues and the personality disorders that are in the society. As you expose and you talk about their characters, people will, so
that's
it's
why
like
this
this,
one is behaving.
it's like this. Oh, so when they are behaving, they know that, oh, we know them. This is the only way perhaps we can also approach from solving these conflicts. Other than that, we keep on talking about the theories and the theories and the theories, leaving the personality behind. So if you identify the personalities, we can. Those who are arrested, I can offer, I give them PDQ4. I will come up with all their personality inclinations and prove to you that, you see, what I'm telling you, this is the result.
It's quite worrying. The NCC have a lot of work to do then. Mr. Johnny, what do you make of this?
It's worrying, isn't it? It's not only this particular area, but look at Boko and all areas seems to be in some sort of conflict, and you tend to wonder what is going on. We all know that the world is running about 300 miles per hour now, and there are a whole lot of issues happening on TikTok and mobile telephones, and all that is confusing a lot of people. And land matter, has become such a topical issue. I find it very, very strange how we've not been able to structure our lands well that there's so much conflict with our chiefs and all that. An Englishman's house, here is his castle. An African man's land is his kingdom, and you fight for it. And land matters are what causes so much mayhem. This Palestine and Israel war is to do with land. You understand? And so if you don't manage your lands well, the conflicts, you sit down and you talk and you hold all sorts of, the craziness will keep on. There are other persons, like Prof has said, that for lack of knowledge and understanding, very little things will upset them. And they'll behave in a way that you least suspect they would do. And it is this land matter and chieftaincy matter that evokes a lot of, spiritual things into people. And they behave in a way that you just don't sometimes can't understand. I don't know how we think we are going to solve this matter. One thing I know is that if mayhem breaks down, what you need are the security agencies to hold on to it. The police and the military and national security, they are the people, they are the only people we can rely on. I mean, if you have people who says we won't listen to you and we'll do what we're going to do, and you can hold your talks and your conferences. Look at the number of conferences that go on across the globe every day. You check the number of conferences that go on about peace and peace and peace, and nobody listens to them. So what is going on? Why are people deviating from a certain humility and an understanding and say, okay, I suspect that as COVID affected it physiologically, there's this conversation that has gone on, that psychologically too, it could affect people. It hasn't gone. It afflicts people in small communities. Our researchers in the science world should be writing papers for us to see what is going on. We don't hear from them. Absolutely. And government should put money into research so that we know what is happening to us. True. They are the only people who can tell us as to what is going on. We don't know what is going on. The world is running too fast for us now. And if we can't hold it and know strategies to as it were, meander through it, a lot of things will collapse on us, as we can see it happening now.
Quite worrying. So, support investment for research, facilitate research so that we can come up with solutions and reasons why these conflicts keep coming up and down.
We need data. We need data. A lot of science data. We can, Mr. Musa is somebody and his team and other
Global
people.
Info
They
Analytics.
are people you need to be using now to give you hard facts and research. And it is on that you can build. You can't just sit down in your office and say, oh, I think we should do this. Oh, I think we should do this. No. AI. Look at where we've gotten to with AI. That is giving suggestions to. If you can't think, don't think. Just go to AI.
It will think for you.
Think for you. That's what it's there for.
Okay. So we should use all of these means to be able to guide how we
solve our problems.
Yes, to solve our problems. I want us to move to this Abosi Okai issues. Earlier on, you talked about Prof. Bruce, the CD and the dollar. Now Abosi Okai's papers dealers have given foreigners an ultimatum to vacate their shops. Papers dealers at Abosi Okai in Accra have issued a warning to the foreign nationals operating in the enclave to vacate their shops or risk being forcefully removed. At the press conference yesterday, the traders insisted that the spare parts trade is legally reserved for Ghanaians and accused foreigners of violating investment laws by taking over spare parts or spaces meant for locals. And another dealer compared the situation to Nigeria, insisting that Ghana was failing to enforce its laws, that you can't just walk into a spare parts shop in Lagos and start a business. He's been there to buy spare parts, and you can only go there as a wholesaler, not as a retailer. And so even before you start trading, the amount you pay for license is very high. It's not that easy, and that's why only a few can afford to do it in Nigeria as foreigners. He also said that we have the laws here in Ghana, but we are not using them. So the traders say they feel abandoned by leaders and trade associations who have failed to defend their interests. They say they are orphans in their own land, and they have mothers and fathers. They are all Ghanaians, but they are orphans because they don't have any authority to fight for them, and they don't have senior people or association leaders to stand for them. We're trying to get the association on phone to see how true it is that they have orphaned their own members and they have left them. Okay, so let's go to the phone and speak to Guta on the phone. They're joining us for perspectives on the questions that these traders are asking. Clement Boateng is Vice President of Guta. He joins us on phone. Hello, good morning, Mr. Boateng. Thank you for your time. Your traders are saying that these laws are there. They are lacking enforcement as compared to other African countries like Nigeria, where you can't just wake up and go there and start business as a retailer. What's going on? You've orphaned your members?
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having me. You see, it is not for nothing that this law was enacted in 1994 through the wisdom of our former president, Jerry John Rawlings. He came up with this law to protect citizens. The only thought is not everybody who can go to school, and so therefore, when it comes to trading, especially in the area of retail, if you even don't go to school, and once you don't go to school and cannot, do the mainstream job, retail trade or trading is another opportunity for you, where you can also, do something and then feed your family. What we have seen is that over the years, those who are supposed to enforce this law have reneged on their duties and then have allowed, these foreigners to take over our market. I'm sure you've been in this country for some time now, and this is a fight that has been on and off, and we don't understand why the authorities cannot solve this problem once and for all. So the Sabosokan people, had a meeting last week and then gave a notice that if you know you're a foreigner doing business in Abosokan enclave and the law does not permit you, you better, advise yourself, because they were going to embark on an action plan to make sure that the laws are strictly enforced. So they never, took it upon themselves to lock the shops, but it's rather those foreigners who think and have seen that what they are doing does not conform to the law, and so therefore they themselves, lock the shop. So,
Mr. Boateng, I want to, you're the lead, you're vice president of Guta. So when you say that the leaders who are supposed to enforce these laws are reneging on their responsibility, how are you ensuring that these laws are enforced as leaders of the association? Because the traders are saying you have abandoned them.
Who are saying we have abandoned them?
The traders, the spare parts dealers.
No, nobody can say we have abandoned them, because we have championed, the enforcement of this law right from day one. The association, especially Guta, has championed the enforcement of this law right from day one. But like I was telling you, those who are supposed to enforce the law, that is the GIPC, over the years, have not done so much. They haven't done so much. I'm sure you are aware that there have been numerous, task forces which have been formed to make sure that the retail trade, and for that matter, the market is sanitized. But what have we seen? When they go to the market, 1, 2, 3, then they stop and then relax, and then these foreigners, start, regrouping again. So whoever says we have not done much, it's never true, my sister.
Okay.
As a responsible association, we have done our best, but like the enforcement, does not lie in our hands, and that is the more reason why when we expect, the authorities to do something and they don't do it, then sometimes we want to take the law into our own hands and then enforce it.
Okay, as a spare parts dealer yourself, I know that there's a back and forth about the CD, the dollar, how much you import spare parts and all of that. How are you making conditions better for your other colleagues in the Ghanaian market? Hello, Mr. Boateng, can you hear me?
Yeah.
As a spare parts dealer yourself, you're leader of the spare parts dealers as well. How are you making conditions better for your colleagues in the Ghanaian market with the whole dollar CD issue?
Well, you part of this year, from March, April, thereabouts, we also the acquisition of the city, and then everybody was thinking that it was good, and we started adjusting prices, because if you could recall, Kuta even issued a statement calling all its members to try as much as possible to reduce a little bit of prices for the benefit of the consumer. But what are we seeing now? The city has started depreciation again, and so it is all our prayer that the city will bounce back, so that everybody in this country, once you are a consumer, you also have the benefit of whatever you are going to buy.
Okay, before you take leave of us, have you engaged the leaders of the foreign traders as well, the Nigerian traders?
They'll be doing that. They'll be doing that, I think, today. They'll be doing that.
Right.
They'll engage them this morning.
What do you expect will be the outcomes of that meeting?
It should be fruitful. It should be fruitful. What we are saying, or what they are saying, is just about complying with the rules and regulations. You see, if you look at Kuta, because some shops have complied with the regulation and they are doing their business, we don't have any problem with them. If you look at shops like Melcom, the Maxmart, the ShopRite, they are compliant, and so therefore we don't have any issues with them. But what we are saying is that those that are within our market, which the law does not permit them to be.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. If you comply, we don't have any problem with you.
Okay, we definitely will get back to you on what the outcomes of the meetings you'll be having with the leadership of the foreign traders are, and with GIPC, government, and whoever is supposed to enforce these laws. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Mr. Clement Boateng is leader of the spare parts dealers at Outcry. He's also the vice president of GUTA. Mr. Dsane.
So the union rep says it's as simple as that. Of course, it's not as simple as that. Otherwise, there's going to be this mayhem going on.
Absolutely.
I hear so many stories within the stories. And so you have to pick which areas you have to look at and sit down at a roundtable conference and try and sanitize this matter once and for all. For years now, we've been hearing of these stories. And I heard one story about the Nigerians importing goods from outside, but the goods landing somewhere in Nigeria and it being transported by road to Accra. And therefore, if he's selling this for 5 cities, if the Ghanaian man sells for 5 cities, the Nigerian man can sell it for 1 city. And that is where the problem is at the moment. So, I mean, hitherto they would have lived together and worked together. But somebody is making more money than the other through what they believe it's not proper. So GIPC, GUTA, the reps on the ground need to sit down and trash this out. We and the Nigerians are like cousins. We've lived together for so many centuries, and we do not wish to have this as the problem that will create enmity between us. Remember when we went in the 80s, when we almost all Ghanaians educated moved to Nigeria to go and live there and work as architects and doctors and nurses and whatever. You understand? Yes, we helped Nigeria, but it was also almost like a safe haven for a lot of our people. And they lived with us without any qualm until they decided that we should all get out of the country. And we did, and we survived it. So no problem. Always look at ways of solving problems. Look at the real issues, not what seems to be the issue. What are the real issues? Tackle it. GIPC, GUTA, the people on the ground, the Nigerians themselves. And if they want to live with us, you see, one person also made a comment I thought was interesting. He said, look, I'm married to a Ghanaian woman, so what's your beef about all of this?
Citizenship by marriage.
Disturbing me. My wife is a Ghanaian. You are disturbing me, but I'm also a Ghanaian by extension, so to speak. So when you go to the football pitch and the coach does that, it means blow. So be patient, and I think they'll solve themselves out.
Okay. Probably.
Yeah, I think, like the Vice President said, I think the foreigners are exploiting a loophole in the implementation of our law concerning these trading activities. So before I come to have that confidence to enter your country and begin to do business that are not meant for me, it means I have studied your system and I found some loopholes. And that loophole is what I'm using to my advantage. So if you have a law and you are not implementing it,
I'll go for it.
People will exploit it. So it's not the foreigners who are the problem. We Ghanaians are the problem. We don't want to make Ghana work. So if Ghana is not working, anything goes. However, you see, this foreigner dominating in the
Retail space.
industry is an age-long. Me, where I grew up, Nigerians dominate the place. Since then, they know how to speak the language. They bought land, they established, they got married. Now it's Nigerians. They are into this, how are you calling it? Petty trading. They're into those things. Every store in that town, they have rented it. Nigerians.
Niger.
There are some artisanal works in Ghana. You can't see any Ghanaian youth doing it. It's the foreigners who have to come and do it. If you want POP now, either someone from Togo,
yeah.
Oh,
who can do. No Ghanaian youth is ready.
I'm not exporting the
If
knowledge
you see
going
any
to learn.
Adeye man, Adeye, yeah, either Togo or Nigerian or Benin, these are the people. Ghanaians, we are not ready to do all those things. So when they start doing it and they become profitable, then we begin to envy them.
Exactly.
But meanwhile, you say you don't want to do it. With all apology, if you go to Osu, if you see Nigeria girls, what business are they doing? A business that maybe Ghanaians will not do. They are doing it. You go to a hotel before you realize, oh, they offer themselves, their services available. So there is something about the implementation of our own law that will restrict foreigners domineering our trading marketplaces and all that, depriving Ghanaians of what they have to do. And even the pricing. There was a fight in Ashaiman. There was a Nigerian. They were all selling phones, mobile phones. He reduces the Ghanaians, the price is like this. And they were beating him. They threw away his wear. I said, why? We all bought the phone. Why are you selling yours like this? He's a Nigerian.
Yeah.
The rent he's paying, you are not paying rent. Maybe you are living in your father's house. Everything. I met a Nigerian. He said, there was no way you have come to Ghana because there's population in Nigeria than Ghana. But what he likes about Ghana is the consistency in electric supply.
They are NEPA in Nigeria.
And that is why he has to come. And he's working in Ashama as a tailor, fashion designer. He said, well, it's good. We have about 15 clients a day. But if it were Nigeria, you have gotten about 40. And that will be more work. They are also not finding it easy. But because of some circumstances
Right.
behind them, that is why they are here. You see? So I think, as he said, we are all brothers and sisters. Let's make the rule in such a way that you to take some, let me also take some. Because we have sacked Nigerians from here once. We have not been able to be the country we want to be. Nigerians have sacked Ghanaians. Nigeria is here to be a country that it wants to be. So it's not about sacking foreigners. You go to South Africa, the xenophobic attitude is there. So the problem is not about the foreigners. The problem is about the indigenous.
Okay. I know that we even have an LPM that we've been doing on GIPC and the laws and how trading is reserved for, Ghanaians and not foreign traders. But I want to draw your attention to this very worrying issue about cattle who have died around the Daboya area. Lots of cattle who have died, and we're hearing that it's due to overdose. But we want to speak to a veterinary doctor who has picked up information about what's going on, because we're hearing that people are buying this cattle and selling the meat in town for people to consume, which is quite worrying. We're hearing some herdsmen may have injected overdose. But we'll go to the phone and speak to Dr. Louise Anas-Nukunu, who is a veterinary surgeon, and understand what the issue are. This is not the first time that we see this outbreak of diseases that have attacked cattle, and people who are rushing to buy this kind of meat to sell to innocent Ghanaians. Dr. Louise Anas-Nukunu is on the phone now. Hello, Doc. Good morning. And thank you for your time. What at all is causing this problem and these deaths that are being recorded with the cattle?
Okay, so I'd like to greet your cherished viewers, actually, and then say good morning to them. So a lot of factors could actually come into play with such situations. And then it is sad and of great public health issue to actually have people going in to actually get this meat. You know, there is news flying that it's as a result of overdose of antibiotics or drugs or whatever it is. So if there is an overdose of drugs or application of medications, what was the root problem why those medications were given and given overdose? It should be a question of interest, because you are not obviously going to start injecting cattle or animals who are healthy. So there is a root problem. And then at this point that we have high rates of mortalities, it's a very big problem. So those purchasing this meat should actually, because it could be anything. It could be anthrax. It could be anything.
Right.
And then the good news is that I think the Veterinary Services Directorate have picked up the issue, and then it's under investigation. So we are hoping that probably by the close of today or by the close of the week, there's going to be a public release to actually help.
Right. What kind of engagements go into your discussions with the cattle owners, the herdsmen who take care of these cattle, and the kind of medications that they administer to the animals, and how are they even sold? Where do we buy our meat from? Who checks our meat that we buy at the butcher shop?
Okay, so by law, based on the Public Health Act 2012, it's the Veterinary Services Directorate that regulates meat with inspection, I think in partnership with the Food and Drugs Board. But the challenge we are having here is, mind you me, there are limited workforce in terms of veterinary services. We don't have vets out there, and every district is supposed to have a resident vet who would actually help to manage such situations, regulate the meat that comes into the system. Here is the issue: you have limited staff, so it's one problem. And then secondly, what happens is, these herdsmen, we have a lot of Fulani men actually taking charge. And then these guys, with time, are trying to do self-medication, which is a very big challenge. Because it has its own implication, antimicrobial resistance and all that. So there is a bigger challenge, which I think the Veterinary Service Directorate is trying. They are doing their possible best to actually handle it. But it has to do with and education. I think we have to educate. We have to make them understand why they need a vet.
Traditionally, the Fulani people are herdsmen, and that's the trade that they ply, their culture. Are you looking at training them to better handle, the cattle before it's sold and all of that, instead of, just leaving them? Because they keep moving with the cattle, and they keep taking care of their cattle, and they sell the cattle.
Yes, so as I said earlier on, we are trying to engage them. But naturally, these herdsmen, to some extent, they have this resistance to veterinary workers because they feel like we are trying to get them to do the right thing. They have this antique or archaic way of doing things we did feel like is the best for them. So it has to do with a lot of education, trying to let them understand the dangers, the effects their actions are actually going to have. So it's going to be a matter of time. Because getting them to train them, I think there has been a lot of engagement to try to let them understand that. It will take time to actually get this done.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. We will definitely be following the matter and see what the Veterinary Directorate will come up with, way of communication about these deaths that have been recorded around the Daboya area, the outskirts of Tamale. So for now, as Dr. Nukunu has said, Nancy Nukunu, who is a veterinary doctor, stay away from meat that is suspected to have come from the area that looks like it was dead meat, dead cattle being sold to butchers. Prof. Bruce.
Yeah, dead cattle. Yes, that's scary. Yes, very scary. But the unnoticed side of it, the same dead cattle can be repackaged for you. When they take the skin off, you buy it as wele. So I think it is now left to the veterinary officer to educate the Ghanaian that there's nothing good in eating wele. Our food scientists and nutritionists, they must educate the public that wele is not good. If an animal is dead now and they know that, they can't sell the meat, they'll take the skin and prepare it to form of wele. You are eating the same dead or diseased animal. You see, so education is very important. Very, 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 very important. And then, please let me chip in this. The Ayensu starch factory. It was built during the President Kufuor's time. And it got collapsed during his term of office. And NPP came for 8 years. I cannot understand the reason why something you put up in the name of generating employment, you didn't have any interest. That which was supposed to produce sugar, that one, you said, no, that one will not. These politicians, if you are not very serious with them, they will destroy this country for us. You can't go and waste money and put up a factory only to leave it in the bush like that. Now cassava, if you can tell the youth, this is the type of cassava that can feed this industry or the factory, they will go into its production.
Absolutely.
And that will be a huge source of employment. All the youth that are going idle, they will go into cassava production. So I would like to call upon this present government that they should rather revenge with hard work by reviving that factory and add it to the sugar factory in that place, we call it in the central region.
Absolutely.
This is the point now. So that our youth can go. Those who grow sugar for the Komenga sugar factory, they will grow the sugar. Those who grow cassava for the Ayensu starch factory, they will grow it. And you can imagine the number of employments we will generate. What the politicians are doing is very wrong. They are wicked towards the Ghanaians. It's not nice. But because they take money at the end of every month and at the end of every 4 years, they take Esgrasha, they are not mindful about the suffering the youth are going through.
Absolutely. I want to draw your attention, gentlemen, to this issue last week that was discussed on the TDC land grab and the clearing of Mr. Ian Okwe. It was said that Mr. Okwe had been abusing his position to allocate TDC land to his wife. It was the MD who accused Mr. Okwe. He also alleged that the land in question was a designated public toilet site. An official site plan and EPA permits contradict this, confirming that the land was earmarked for its approved purpose. So the revelations have sparked questions about why the MD levels such claims, which collapse under scrutiny. And so this has gone through legal proceedings, and Mr. Ian Okwe has been cleared of any allegations of this land that they said was given to him. Last week, we spoke to Mr. Ian Okwe as the proceedings were going on, and he says the procedures for acquiring a land from TDC Ghana Limited are clearly defined, requiring a formal application approval from the planning department and subsequent certifications from various authorities within the company. And so discrepancies here and there, but the courts have cleared Mr. Ian Okwe and his wife that they did not do any illegality in acquiring this TDC's land that they were accused of. Allocation takes effect only after payment to TDC's official accounts. In 2021, TDC prepared a site plan and issued an offer letter, and the applicants made payment of 2,060 Ghana cedis into TDC's account for management fees and first year ground rent. In 2025, further payment of 4,000 plus was made. You know, all of this is captured in the Daybreak paper. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, Mr. Jan.
I have not. I'll come back to that. May I go back to the story that we spoke about?
On the cattle?
On the cattle.
Okay. We have to wrap up.
We need to get the diagnosis as to what the problem is. The veterinary doctor didn't tell us what the illness was. The mad cow disease, what is it?
Okay.
And until you know that, you don't know how to solve the problem. So they should quickly get to the grounds and let us know what is making this. There was an instance like this in the UK not long ago where about more than thousands of cows were dumped into a hole and killed off. Because if it is infectious, then it might affect the whole the environment where they work in. So
absolutely,
it's important we get a diagnosis as to why this is happening.
Why this is happening. I wanted you to touch on the 225% increment of service charges by ECG, but there will be a presser that will be held today, and more details will come out from that. I was also seeing somebody sending a message on kiosks that are springing up on the Temamoto Way using water and electricity for free, but I'm sure that we're back discussing that. I am MALTITI Sade. Thank you for your company. Mr. John Kuuku is forensic psychiatrist specialist, has been our guest this morning. Professor Daniel Bruce, clinical psychologist as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen. The CD will be on the table being discussed. The CD on the slide. Experts breaking down the causes, what it means for your wallet. Thelma will be having that discussion. Stay with GTV Breakfast and send in your comments and your questions.
By the way, one of the safest areas of buying land is TDC and State Housing Corporation. When you buy land for them, it's better than buying from the chiefs. It's much safer.
Then there's a problem. We're back with more of the show. Do stay with us.